Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is up, everybody? Jason in the house, Dylan in the house. Good morning, Dylan. Good morning, MP. What's going on, buddy? Navigating a lot of grumpy employees this morning. Guess the what a
Good morning,
bummer.
Dom.
What a bummer that is. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Just letting the dogs out.
David, Savvy, good morning, good morning. How was everyone's weekend? How's everybody's Monday going other than MP's? Because we know he's in for a rough one, but he'll handle it.
Dom,
How was your weekend, buddy? Mine was good. Mine was, yeah, it was good. Yesterday was a bit different. So I think we had talked every day this week. So y'all know we're struggling with Brooklyn's homework. So yesterday we tried a slightly different tactic and it still didn't work out. So I had a little bit of a, conversation with my wife slash, mental, like kind of breakdown for a second. And then out of nowhere, Brooklyn appears coming down the stairs and just gave me a big hug. So it was just very, sweet of her to do that, because I was kind of going through it with Amy, just basically saying that I just don't know what to do. Like, I feel like every time I try to do something, it doesn't work. I don't like that. I'm like this big bad guy that makes people cry in the family, or that my voice is taken that way, when in reality I'm just being serious or being passionate or like trying to, inform or ask questions. But for some reason my voice just comes off that way to the family. And it's probably due to past history of me, getting to the grumpy stage. Whoa, we're really getting into it. Sorry, people, in the first 4 minutes of the episode.
No, let's run with it. Question for you: as a kid who I had trouble with homework. I had a terrible 6th grade year.
Yeah.
And two-pointed question. Yesterday we talked about inner voices, right? Like our inner monologue. When you say that you are, when you feel like you're like the big bad voice that brings everybody down, in your head, do you hear voices from your childhood speaking the words that you are saying to your family?
No, not necessarily. I don't think so. I don't know that I have enough like self-awareness in the moment to be able to like figure out like I said, it doesn't seem like I'm like on my side of it. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to talk to her. And when I see my words come out, or when I hear the words come out in the way that they come out and see the reaction on their face, it doesn't match up. So like I'm trying to say something helpful, or in my mind, like I'm trying to tell them, hey, this is what you should do to, get your homework done, or to, knock yourself out of like this little funk that you're in, is like put your phone down, go outside and take a deep breath, like stop hitting your brother or ignore your brother, whatever it is. Like I'm not trying to do it in a yelling at them way, but I think at some point it usually gets to a point where it's when I speak up, it's because it's gotten to a point where it's like I feel like I need to speak up. And so yes, I'm probably a little louder, a little sterner in my voice than maybe mom is, or maybe they want me to be, or something like that. Good morning, Ryan.
What's up, guys?
Good morning, Ryan.
Sometimes it's hard to hit that add to stage button when you don't want to
Interrupt.
jump in the middle of a thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you have to catch a space between the waves a little bit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
for sure.
dude. That's why I tried to sidetrack myself for a second there because I guess Jason just asked me how my weekend was.
It's good though. No, guys, don't let it roll. We just got to do that.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
We
It's when the
got we got
best stuff
30
comes
we
out.
got 30 minutes in the morning.
yeah,
Let's get deep,
let's get
y'all.
right into it. But at the end of it, like it came out good. Like I said, I said some things that I wanted to say, that some things that my wife doesn't necessarily agree with, some things that have been on my mind and weighing on me a little bit. I'm glad Brooklyn was listening in. Like obviously in the moment I was like, oh shoot, like kind of replaying like what did I say? Like hopefully, nothing that like really would hurt her, but like sometimes kids need to hear that stuff. And I'm a pretty firm believer in that. And I know a lot of people here, and you guys kind of are too, is just like treating our kids a little bit more like they're adults because it's their life. And they need to hear and know these things, especially at, the age that she is. Whereas I think my wife wants to kind of keep it a little bit more closed off for them. And I think that might be part of the problem is maybe they're a little confused because dad's doing something different than mom's doing and the school's doing something different than we're doing. So I get it. And that's kind of what I told Brooklyn when she came down is like, I'm just stuck. Like, I don't know what to do. I want you to help me. I want you to tell me what to do. And at the end of it, like, I just don't want you to be like I don't want you to be because that's what's happening to her is like we're both telling her things at the same time together, whatever, about how to do her homework, and she just gets stuck because I feel like she's just too far under. Like she's missing so much that she just doesn't know what to do, even though we're telling her like just do one page, like just focus on one page only.
Mm.
Yeah. It's like
know,
when you have a house that's like a complete wreck after a week of not doing any chores and you just look at it and you're like, well, how the hell do I clean this place? And it's like just start with one room or just start with laundry. Like only pick up
Yeah.
laundry.
Start with making your bed.
Yeah.
I totally resonate with the idea
But
of just
what's up,
breaking it
guys?
down.
How was your
as one
weekend?
does.
Mine was good. I delivered painting to a Long Valley friend who I have not seen in 20 years, and now they're in Colorado. Angie Bidnick, if you happen to be listening, great to run into you. Dom, I said I was going to box up your painting, but despite finishing it a week and a half ago, the paint is still drying.
Okay. All right.
So you have a
Better
fingerprint.
safe than sorry.
You have a fingerprint on your painting. It's secret, so you can look for it.
Oh, it's like a signature.
Yeah. I had a really good run-in with two dads to be yesterday, and it was one right after the other. It was just like this one guy who, Quentin, if you happen to be listening, he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman who he delivered our groceries yesterday, and he also delivered to us in COVID at our old house. Somehow I remembered his name. I got it wrong once, like the first time, then I got his name. And we got like, for some reason, we got immediately into like talking about like how he wants to be a dad and he's really nervous about being a bad dad. And, I was able to just kind of start talking like a middle-aged dad, like all this. I think it came out as sage advice. You'll have to ask him. But my point was, if you want to be a dad, you're already 80% there, because there's a lot of people that have kids that maybe aren't ready or for whatever reason. And then eventually I was just like, you ever heard of The Daily Dad? Just here's the book, here's the title. So we're on holiday. We have a podcast, me and my brother, Mr. Friends. We'll see if he jumps in. And then our neighbor, Cole, who is renting our neighbor's house, they're having a baby in 9 days, keeping it secret.
Wow. Ooh.
Or sorry, they're not finding out the sex of it, which I'm a fan of. I think that's awesome. but kind of a similar conversation. So it was a really nice dad day to meet some future new dads.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad that you're able to bring things up and connect with them in that way. That's so cool. What is it? What's like the with these younger dad? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've started to say something twice and the conversation kept going. So I just
the last time I didn't hear you, but this time I did.
Okay, got it. So I was like, it's okay, I'll just be here. It's fine. What's the thing that's kind of coming across both of these younger dads' minds, you think? Like, did they say something? Did you see it on their face? Is it just like, is it worry? Is it excitement? I'm sure it's all these things, but was there anything in particular that you ended up seeing with them?
Nothing specific and nothing in common. I mean, like I feel like when I was at that point, I wasn't necessarily worried. I also wasn't excited for the sole fact that I really didn't know what was coming. You know, it was like I think I want to have kids. I always say that I was like an 80% on board with having kids. It's like I knew I wanted to have kids, never really made a plan on when to have kids. And then when I talked to a dad with like a whole different point of view, where it's like, I really want kids, that wasn't me. But I mean, I love it. It's great. You know, I would say, I mean, yesterday was like one guy was like super worried and anxious. The other guy seemed just kind of, our neighbor just kind of seems like he's ready for it and, you know, waiting for it to come and excited for it. And it's, the neighbor in particular seems to have a lifestyle set up where a kid's really going to have a great experience. Like, they're active, they go outside, they go on hikes. We were kind of like that, I guess. It's like there were ideas we had an idea of what kind of childhood we want to provide.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, nothing goes to plan, and you make mistakes daily sometimes. So that's one thing I said is, like, you're definitely going to make mistakes. So, you know, give yourself some grace, but it's also going to be it's a trap. Yes. It's a trap.
A way that I think about parenthood, tell me if this connects with you guys, because I definitely think about this. And I think it's important. It's kind of like, just because I'm always talking about like health stuff and working with doctors and, you know, patients that are upset with their doctor that wasn't able to do everything for them all at once. And so I always like to tell people, you know, especially in the health space, that I'm like, if you get on your doctor about not being able to do everything all at once, and you think that they're going to be this like panacea for, you know, everything that you definitely need, you're just setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for really just hurt feelings. Like, the thing you should end up asking your doctor is to make sure that you is more about, hey, what is the care team that you can help me build? Like, can you make sure that, you know, like, is there someone that you can, you know, let me know about, you know, physical therapy? Is there someone that you have for nutrition? Is there someone that you have for oncology? Like, whatever it is, like, how can you connect me? And I almost think, like, in parenting, we want to do everything. And I know, like, I'm saying this for myself, like, we want to do everything. We want to be everywhere. We want to give like all the attention that we definitely can. But I think parenting, just like in health, like, we have to, like, we are the people that need to now kind of build that care team or that life team as a parent, but then also for our kid, right? Our kid can't come to us for everything. We can't give them every single answer. So if we're able to say, hey, you can come to me and I'm likely not going to know everything. I'll tell you that I won't, and I can give you the wrong advice. But what I can do is make sure that you definitely have people to reach out to, and, you know, or that I can reach out to them, right? So it's one of those things where I think when a new parent, or, you know, thinks that they're going to be able to do it all, it's not. And I'm not trying to go down the route, the route of like, you know, it takes a village, but it's more about like, it's more about you making sure that you understand how to build the village when necessary. I guess we're staying in the same realm, but that's what I end up thinking about, because a lot of parents do take, I think, way too much on. So
yeah. One thing that that one of them said was that he said that he was one of 6 kids, and his dad was really great. And he was kind of talking about how he wanted to be like his child's he didn't say best friend, but like his buddy. And I was like, oh yeah, that'll definitely come. But like, first you got to go through the shit of not sleeping, keeping him alive and whatnot. But one thing that came up was like you probably like, if you have a great dad, that's awesome, but you're probably going to end up being a better dad just by default, because you already have that example. That's something we kind of talked about in the past, is like, whatever your childhood was like, you're going to strive to do things better than your parents, and there's going to be some kind of trauma that you get from your parents. Doesn't matter what your intentions, or doesn't matter what their intentions are, and doesn't matter what your intentions are. There's going to be something that sticks with your kids, for better or for worse.
That's a good point. Well, did we look at Todd's question over here? We didn't address this, did we?
Where was the question?
Not specifically, and I was reading it and thinking about it, and from obviously we're all fathers, not stepfathers, but I can say growing up, I had some step parents and some boyfriends, girlfriends in my life, like my parents' boyfriends, girlfriends. And I don't know, it's definitely a hard thing to navigate from his side, but I think if you're thinking about, we say this a lot, like if you're thinking about it and you're, it's present on your mind, you're going to be doing, the best you can and better than most. And that's all that our kids really, and your stepson, that's all that they really need from us, is just being present, showing them love and compassion and care, trying to step in and teach them something, but obviously, holding yourself back from going too far. If they'll push back, if he doesn't want you to direct him in a way, and he, drops the bomb of like, you're not my father, which I think every step kid will do at some point. So, I would say, have that in the back of your mind, that it's going to happen, and it may happen regularly. Like it may just be a thing. But don't take offense to it. Just know that like, that's just where he's coming from. That's just his side of the equation. That's all he knows. Like he, that's his only, retort or response to certain things, if he's feeling scared or in that kind of moment. But at the end of the day, as long as you're there and you're there, like, I'm thinking to the person that I would say was like my best step parent, is the person who was very much the fun side of the equation. Like he didn't push really hard on like, do this or do that. It was more like he engaged just in like the fun things. So he was like a coach of like my baseball teams. He taught me how to rollerblade. He taught me how to ski. Like just having those fun moments with him is something that I'll always look back on. And then, he allowed my mom to parent, and he was just like the fun side. But there was totally a time where I told him, I think one of the first things I said to him was, F off, like, so like we've had our rocky spots too. And it's like, but he stuck in there and he stood by me and he stayed in my life even after he was out of my mom's life. And that was another big thing too. So yeah, I mean, good luck. Like, we're here for you. Like, obviously, as you can tell, like everybody's here for me in my situations. And so that's where, you already have a leg up on all the other step parents out there, and the ones that came before you. So, but yeah, we're here. What do you guys think?
Why? I'm kind of going off of what you're saying here, Dom. My only experience with any kind of role that's similar to a stepfather would be a teacher. Like I see, I get a new batch of kids every August, and for the most part it goes great. Like Um, it's a teacher student role. And then there's kids who really take a long time to warm up to you. So it's really a slow bake, right? It's like maybe like one few second interaction a day just to build some kind of repertoire. Um, and I guess that's what I'm imagining that relationship to be like. Like you said, I asked how old. 8. That's a really good age for role models to start stepping in. I would say if it was like 13, 14, that's a whole other beast.
Yeah.
It's like by that point, it's like you're probably already I don't know, like you're already, it's already you against the world, and at 8 you're still maybe open-minded, looking for that support. So that might be a good intro to today's reading at 23 minutes in, is like what things do you say to your kid that might be a dumb hill to die on? Like with my kids, and sometimes with my students, I've realized that if my final answer is because I've said so, then I've lost. It's like you really have to give a reason for why you're giving directions, or telling them not to do something besides that's just the way that I want it. A few weeks ago, I had that discussion with a kid, and it was like I couldn't tell if he was trolling me or if he really had questions about not opening the door and talking to the 6th graders outside, because I have an exterior door. But yeah, I would say, like, in that situation, just have a reason and be able to explain your reasoning for whatever directions, demands, requests you're giving a kid that's not familiar with you, or somewhat familiar with you.
I keep thinking the whole time, it just in a group last week, a guy had mentioned a similar situation as this, being a step parent, and I had prefaced all of this, that kind of, he said it, I had brought the idea up of being able to have more time to parent. I was like, I wanted this time to parent, but I really wasn't given the room to do it in our previous schedule. And so our schedule changed, and now I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I love this. I want to parent. Give it to me. And this guy, he's an older guy. I think he has a girlfriend now. I know he's divorced, and he holds custody of these dogs that he has. But I know that he has a stepson that lives with him and his girlfriend. I guess the mother. But he said something that wasn't overly profound. But the idea is, I love the moments where I don't have to parent. And he wasn't saying it like I get to just like not do anything. But he was saying, he's like, I love the moments where I can sit back and go on the couch when, like, my girlfriend, right, his mom, will just say, hey, I got this. This is the parenting moment I can take care of. And so he was saying, he was basically saying, like, I'd love to do it, but I get to step back in that moment because I have my own kids and I can parent there. But then with his stepson, he was really saying that then he gets to take advantage of those moments where he can listen more, he can ask more questions, he can kind of be there for him. And he really enjoys that. And so what I had taken away from that was, like, don't try and force the parent side of it if it's not coming, like, naturally. Like, let it kind of be that side that is not your role. It can be there, right, when you're asked for it. It's, again, what I was taking from what this guy said. But he said, yeah, but my favorite thing is the fact that I can be there when he needs me. He's like, I'm just this annex for him to escape to, and then really just him be able to tell me what he wants to do. And like, the guy was like, and I'm not really there to parent. Again, he's like, I'm there to listen. I'm not there as a friend. I'm just there as, Dom, I think this is maybe close to what you had growing up. But he was just like, the door's open. You can come talk with me. It was built on trust. It was built on listening. It was built on just being able to, like, quote unquote, I guess, like, know where his role was. But he said he loves it because he doesn't force the other side of it. So I don't know, take from that what you wish, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think there was something in the book or the reading or a podcast of Ryan's or another book that I read that was it was along the lines of like our children need other adults in their lives that are basically not their parents, but like help teach them how to interact with other adults, help teach them that like all adults aren't dictators or rule makers, just like fun adults, like the most of the adults in kids lives, when you think about it, like their parents, their coaches, like even grandparents at some point, teachers, they're always telling them what to do, right? They're always giving them some sort of instruction. And we, all of us adults and all those people are like doing it in a way of like, okay, well, you're like, for Jason, for instance, like the kids are there to learn something. So like, that's his job. Coaches, same thing. Like they're there to learn something. Parents, we're trying to teach them, what to do or how to be in the house. But, to have an adult in a kid's life that is just there for fun or listening or whatever, like I think every kid needs that. And I think there was some sort of reading that I did where it was like try to cultivate these relationships. Even if, I think one of the examples they gave was like a friend's parents, like and to be that person for your kids' friends is another like thing to try to do. So I don't know if that helps. I'm sure that, the perspective of what Savvy had earlier, like that is something helpful, is like going through it all the way through. Like she didn't realize it until, she had a chance to step away from it. And that may be what happens to your stepson too, is like, it may be hot and cold, hit and miss for many years. Like Jason said, like 8 is actually a really great. So like the relationship that I touched on earlier, he came into my life around that time frame too, like 6, 7, 8 years old. And I think that does help because I had another stepfather come in my teenage years, and I did not get along with that guy at all. So yeah, you found the sweet spot. The earlier the better. But it's going to take some time on both sides and patience. And obviously you're the more adult, responsible, knowing one in the equation. So it's going to take more from you than it is from him.
Guys, as we exit out of this this half an hour, is there a hill that you guys can step back from and let your kids kind of take this week?
Yeah, mine, I updated all my socials with a question: what's a stupid hill that you found yourself dying on recently? My stupid hill is when we're eating and like my 6-year-old Hazel says she's full, but most of the plate still has food on it. Forcing them to eat more never ends well. Never. Never have I ever gotten an answer of, okay, it's always in tears. Even when I've slaved over it, they still don't eat it. That's mine.
Mine is the little messes around the house, like the wrappers and the crumbs and the whatever. Like I usually will, bark at them, clean up. Like it's a constant thing. And also like shoes all around the house. But lately I've just been like, I'm just gonna instead of going there, I'm just gonna pick it up and throw it away. It doesn't matter.
I asked this question knowing that I was going to have a hard time answering it. And I was like, damn, I don't have one. I feel like I've given back some little hills recently. And I'm going to work on finding that hill because there is one. There has to be one, right? But I do know that there's 2. I'm just going to mention for both of my girls. One is that my youngest loves to bring toys into her bed at night and says, I'm going to play with these. And before it was like, no, you like just leave them there. You're going to stay awake longer. But that's like, if that's what you got to do it. That's mine. There's usually many hills that I kind of give because I'm like, I just don't need these. I think with my oldest right now, I think I have to make sure that I'm continuing to give her this. I have to give this battle. It's all the time where I don't judge me on this if you need to. I think she's too friend focused. I have a hard time with it because I think it's like she relies on her friends so much where friends come before breakfast or friends come before doing her homework or friends get like, it's like run home, drop your stuff off. And then quick, are they home? I have to go see. And so there's a little bit of me. I'm like, okay, I need to now let her do these in some of these moments that I'm like, you have to put yourself, like you have to care about yourself first before you care about how your friends are going to, think about you. I don't know if that sounds complete, but that's been probably my hardest one so far because I think I see myself as a kid coming out in her right now. So that is going to be one of the hills, is just making sure that I let my youngest play with toys in her bed at nighttime, and then letting my oldest be who she is with her friends. Not all the time.
Let me be the devil's advocate here. Having her focused on friends and saying, hey, I have to go check on so-and-so sounds like a much better option than jumping right on the iPad to see their friends. I'm assuming when you say that, it's Sloan like going out your door and going to see their friends in person.
Yeah, I mean, the building right now is like it's really cool. Like the kids have a building of friends. They can run outside and they do like hallway parties anyway. We don't have to get too into it because I know that we're at the hour mark here, but
I'm off today. I got all the time. Suckers.
What do you have off today? What? Wait, what is it? What is it you have off for?
We get a day off because of the time that we put in for parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, got it. So there's parents somewhere that are like, why do they have off? Why is this happening to us?
I think all parents in the district are like, why do they have off today?
You got a vacation from doing work.
Yeah, but
I
think I don't know. My call is to let that go. Let them see their friends, especially if it's in person.
Yeah, no, there's definitely nuance here, but it's one that I just want to focus on. So it'll be good. All right. I gotta get this day started, guys. I love you both.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming in the chat. We love you. We will see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. Happy Monday.
Enjoy your job, you peasants.
On that note.